last week you were all over the news, and I was watching it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I wonder what was going on. What is going on in your head? What was happening? Why were you in the news, for anyone who doesn't know?
Well, obviously the Supreme Court hearings have been going on, and Democrats, we've been very frustrated because about 90% of his work product has not been released, so we haven't been able to scrutinize things. And the stuff that we have gotten, about 10% of it, it's been labeled committee confidential. In other words, we couldn't even use it in the hearings. And so Wednesday night, I just went ahead and used it anyway. And so Thursday morning, that set the scene for a lot of tension. And finally, I just announced that I was not going to abide by this committee confidential process. I'm going to release these documents, at which point the more elder senior senator from Texas basically accused me of conduct unbecoming a senator and threatened to expel me from the Senate.
Yeah, and you said...
I said, bring it. I said, bring it.
Did he just say bring it? You're like, yeah, bring it. Let's go. Bring it right now. I'm doing this.
Let me be clear, though. I love my job. I love my job. I would like to keep my job, just in case anybody's listening out there, but I don't want to keep it at the expense of not doing what's right. And it's not right. It's not right that they're keeping so much from the American public. They're keeping his record. They're shrouding it in secrecy. And remember, he's going for the highest office in the land for a lifetime appointment, a position that could, especially because it's going to change the balance of the court, could affect the rights of workers to organize, could affect our access to health care, could affect women's rights, LGBT rights, voting rights. So much of our culture is going to depend upon this nominee. And we should at least, the American public should at least know what his record is.
And what would be the next step, saying that now it's just a vote? Or?
So they're going to race to a committee vote, which might, again, get very tense, because I, for one, don't feel that we should be voting on something after not being able to vet a candidate thoroughly and efficiently to do my constitutional duty of advising and giving advice and consent. And then it'll eventually move to the Senate, where the nation will watch what will happen to a candidate who, in many fundamental ways, disagrees with the majority of Americans. Most Americans believe in a woman's right to choose. Most Americans believe in climate change and that the government should do something to protect the environment. This is somebody that I think is going to erode those rights and a lot more. So this is going to be one of the biggest, in fact, most senators on both sides will say this is one of the most important votes they'll take in their lifetime.
On and on and on. I said, and it's on and on and on.